Hi guys, I hope that you are doing well, and I'm really excited to be back for this April reading. I think that April is gonna be the month to move forward with our dreams, with our ideas, with our projects. And even though Mercury is gonna go retrograde in the month of April, I still think that it's going to be a time of breakthroughs. We are going to have a solar eclipse, the first solar eclipse in the sign of Aries, and that's very exciting because Aries rules new beginnings, our actions. So a lot of us are going to be taking actions towards our dreams, not just in April, but overall in 2023. But let's just move on straight to the reading. And I did want to mention that, cardinal signs, guys, this is a big year. I'm sorry, not year. Big year for you too, actually, but it is a pretty big month for you, okay? Whatever initiatives you might have this month, whether it has something to do with your career or maybe your home environment or maybe yourself and your relationships, all the opportunities are going to be given to you to be able to manifest that. So let's move on to Aries. Aries, you guys are going to be the stars of the show. This is your month on every single level, and I believe that you are going to deal a lot with your ideas, with your projects. You're going to be giving birth to a lot of things that maybe you couldn't before. And your relationships are also going to be at play here. You may have to interact with your loved ones, maybe someone that is kind of with you on a certain project. You may have to deal with their opinions as well this month. However, I think that you are going to be able to make something come to fruition that possibly you couldn't for a very long time. It is like your personal new year. We are going to talk about 4 events altogether, and the first one is happening on April 5th. This is the full moon in Libra in your 7th house. So any lunations that are occurring on the 1st and 7th house axis, they usually suggest any kind of completions, any kind of new beginnings. It doesn't really have to be connected to a relationship, like a romantic relationship, for example. It can be connected to a project, for example, that you've involved someone in with you. And now finally this project is coming to fruition. I've given birth to my son on a full moon. And for example, if you want to purchase a property, a deal can finally complete around this time. And you could finally close on a house, for example. There are certain legalities maybe that are going to be coming to an end, where the last signature that they need from you, you give it to them, and something finally gets resolved, and maybe a certain negotiation finally comes forward and everything is resolved in a very nice way. There is also a sense of maybe receiving closure from a certain relationship in your life, and possibly you have given it a chance, or you have initiated something in this relationship recently, but now it will give you the fruits of your labor, or maybe now it will finally let you know that, hey, this isn't going anywhere, right? This needs to be done and over with. So there is a closure that you could receive around this time, but there is also maybe, like I said, a project could be born between you and someone else. A child could be born between you and someone else. You could finally negotiate something. You could finally make that purchase. You could finally sign that deal, right? And so on. Considering it's in Libra, even though Libra rules relationships, but for me personally, Libra has a very strong legal undertone, and I mean it is, justice and tarot, but it could be either or, it could be romantic, or maybe it could be professional, it could be immigration as well, and so on. Now, April 11th, Sun will conjunct Jupiter in your 1st house, and I like this one. I think this one, you need to use that opportunity on April 11th to showcase your talent somehow, to maybe open up to someone, to tell them how you truly feel, to maybe go on stage with a certain creative endeavor, to launch your website, to apply for your dream job. There is some kind of action here that is required from you, but it's about showing your best self, right? Showing your, putting your best foot forward. That's the saying. Showing the world what you can do. And I believe that it's very exciting here for you specifically because everybody is going to be noticing you. Whether you have Sun in Aries or Ascendant in Aries or maybe even Moon in Aries, not so much Moon in Aries, but more like Sun and Ascendant, you know, a lot of people are going to be noticing you. They're going to be very fascinated by you. They're going to be like, wow, you know, this person has a lot of skills, or this person is very, I don't know, bright and exciting, and they have so many unique ideas. And or for example, you may start teaching someone around this time, or maybe you're going to complete education around this time, maybe you're going to travel to a foreign country around this time, or maybe you're just going to file for paperwork, right, to travel. So there's a lot here that can happen, but I would suggest to take charge of this time. You know, I want to say the 10th, 11th, 12th of April, and charge forward and do something that maybe even is a little bit out of your comfort zone, or something where you wanted that green light for a while to manifest something, to move forward, and now you can finally have it. I suggest moving forward with your ideas around this time. April 20th, solar eclipse is happening in your first house again, guys. It's amazing. And maybe you have started planting the seeds around the new moon in your sign in March, right? And now in April, you're able to actually move forward with that idea, or you start noticing some sort of results almost in a way. You know, you start noticing how, okay, so this is gathering some interest, or this is gathering clients or customers, or okay, you know, I am really on the right path, like I understand it now. Something really nice can manifest around this eclipse, or even for the next 6 months, or to be honest with you, the whole 2023. This is just the beginning of your personal journey, where yes, you may have to be a little bit selfish. You may have to choose yourself over anybody else. You may have to be like, you know what, I supported you, I was there for you when you were going through stuff, and you know, I was always helping you, and whatever else. Now this is my time to shine. This is my time to, for example, I don't know, grow in the professional path. This is my time to really showcase my talents. This is my time, you know, and I think that you will have the right people next to you who can kind of cheer you up, or I wouldn't even say cheer you up, but more like support you on the emotional level, and professionally as well, on this new beautiful journey. And this is when Aries really gains the self-confidence that maybe sometimes gets taken away from them. You know, for example, this particular situation is happening also in my first house in Aries. Now, I am technically considered Pisces rising, but if I look at Placidus house system, Aries is intercepted in my first house. And, you know, if you have, for example, Aries placement that is intercepted in your chart, that could mean that you can really step out of your comfort zone now and really take on those Aries qualities. Like, for example, I'm doing something professionally right now, not in regards to astrology, but there is something that I'm going for that is absolutely out of my comfort zone, but I am slowly gaining that self-confidence that maybe I was working on for a very long time, but couldn't necessarily fulfill it in the past. Same goes for you here. There is something that you can finally charge forward with. That gained self-confidence is going to occur. And maybe for some people, this is a little bit of your comfort zone, especially if you are an intercepted Aries like I am. You know, it's a little bit of out of your comfort zone. Maybe you have to really build up to it. But I think that you are gonna do just fine. I think this is not just your month, but your year. And there's a lot that can be achieved here for you guys, whether you are Aries Sun or Aries Rising. And the last event that I would like to mention, Mercury going retrograde in your second house. You know, I usually just drop Mercury retrograde out of my readings because I feel like it's just too, you know, it's everybody knows what Mercury retrograde is about. But I decided to throw it in here this time, you know, because it's going retrograde in Taurus. It's almost like recounting all the resources that you have already gained, have already established. And it's like reestablishing your foundation somehow. Something that is going to last for a while, something that is a long-term foundation. And in this case, it's happening in your second house, right? So you're definitely going to be paying a lot more attention to your resources, where the money is going, how much you need to spend, how much is going into this bank account and into that bank account. Yes, there can be certain expenses on something that you've already spent money on before. Okay, but it's not necessarily something difficult to deal with. It's more like, okay, I just need to reevaluate how much I make, right? And how much I'm willing to make now, what kind of salary I'm willing to see, or what kind of commission, right, I'm willing to see, and also how much I invest into this and this and that. And also, I wouldn't recommend maybe investing into anything quite yet. I would wait until Mercury goes direct in the middle of May, because the solar eclipse in your first house, yes, it's gonna give you a major boost, but you don't necessarily have to kind of go with it right away, right? You can wait a little bit longer. You can wait until May, mid-May, late May to do something about it. So it's like the ideas are building up. You're starting to see progress, but there is still something there just to reevaluate a little bit more so that you can move forward from the clean slate. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that April brings you lots of beautiful gifts. And now we're moving on to Taurus. Hi Taurus, I hope that you are doing well, and your birthdays are coming up. So is my birthday. I'm a May Taurus. So let's talk about 4 events of April, what you can expect. The first one on April 5th, full moon in Libra, fellow Venus ruled sign in your 6th house. And this full moon here suggests that something is coming to completion in your daily routine. Your routine starting early April is no longer going to be the same. Something there is shifting, maybe not in a major way. For example, you're just going to switch gyms. I don't know. You're going to start working out from home. You're going to change your diet. You're, for example, going to go vegan now. Or maybe something here is connected to a pet, right? Maybe you get a pet. Maybe if a pet was sick, you know, there are different scenarios how this can play out. They could recover, or maybe, you know, there is closure with the pet. There's also closure within your professional environment. Some kind of shifts within your professional environment. For example, a manager leaving, or there is a project, a work project that is coming to an end, something along the lines of that. But the fact that your routine is going to be different now starting April, this could be actually very beneficial for you. You know, this could maybe allow you to have a lot more sleep, or maybe this, or more rest, right? Or maybe this could be quite vice versa. For example, if you had a lot of free time, like a pretty good free schedule, you know, now that there is something in your routine is shifting, and you will no longer have that free schedule, right? There will be an actual routine. There will be structure there. Now, on April 11th, we are having Sun conjunct Jupiter in Aries in your 12th house. So this is where interesting things could happen. Taurus maybe could travel in the middle of April to a foreign country or somewhere far away. They could receive a passport, for example, like I'm a Taurus Sun, and I just recently applied for my US passport, and I've never had a US passport in the past. I used to travel with my other passport, so now that I'm getting that done, you know, maybe it's around the time when I'm going to receive it, and it's going to kind of give me the green light to travel out of the United States with the passport, right? And this could also be, for example, you booking the ticket somewhere, you maybe going on a retreat as well. For some people that have been isolated in some way, and it could be many different places, hospitals, for example, maybe even jails, or maybe they were kind of isolated in a different country. It's time to come home, okay? It's time to no longer be isolated. It's time to come back. And this is a positive influence, right? Because you are finally kind of you see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, sun is so bright, Jupiter is so happy and generous, and in Aries, in the fire sign, you know, there is some kind of a light at the end of the tunnel that you might be seeing here, some kind of green light as well. There could also be a birth of a project that you've been working on behind the scenes for a very long time. This could maybe be a start of the project behind the scenes, right? Maybe it's not coming to fruition yet. Maybe it's just starting. And behind the scenes, you know, this could be so many things, like studying a lot behind the scenes, for example. I don't know, working on some kind of a website, on a business behind the scenes, working on a creative project behind the scenes. There could also be, this is very specific, but again, kind of connecting it to foreign land. 12th house, foreign land, sun, very masculine energy, Jupiter, kind of like a gift giver. There may be an offer. There may be an offer coming from afar. Possibly from masculine energy, from like a boss or a romantic partner that lives far away. There is some kind of development happening here, or a development happening in a relationship with the person who's kind of hidden in your life. You know, the relationship is like a secret relationship. On April 20th, there will be a solar eclipse in your 12th house. Guys, that's the first solar eclipse in your 12th house for the next like year and a half. And that again suggests that maybe you are having a green light now to immigrate, to move to a foreign country, to travel, simply just to travel. Maybe you're going to really focus on your spirituality. When I had eclipses happening in the 12th and the 6th houses, that's when I got really serious about spirituality, you know. So this could be the time when you're like, all right, I'm willing to explore this other side. I'm willing to learn a new practice, right? I'm willing to actually not be so maybe structured and so skeptical and so analytical. You know, I just kind of want to relax and see what else is out there. And, you know, 12th house transits, they kind of sometimes force us to see the spiritual side of things, to start noticing signs, to start noticing messages, and so on. So that's nice. But again, if you are by any means connected to foreign land, this could be really nice for you, because finally you're going to be able to start traveling, far away. Another thing, again, talking about, you know, those projects behind the scenes. You know, a project could be born around this time. A project could start around this time, and you may be working on it for the next year and a half, kind of nurturing it and perfecting it, but all behind the scenes. That can also be the case. Also for parents, for new parents. This can suggest that, you know, you may become a parent soon, or maybe if you are just about to become a parent or are already a parent, this is that time in somewhat of isolation, because you take care of you take care of your child, right? And you may not maybe be working much, right? You may be possibly focused on your family, or the private life, and so on. So you don't have to be like isolated, you know, in jail or an island with 12th house stuff. You can simply be kind of isolated at home because you're taking care of a small child, for example. This is also how it played out for me. April 21st, Mercury is gonna go retrograde in your first house. I typically don't mention Mercury, but I decided to this time. Well, Mercury going retrograde in the first house suggests that you may be rethinking a lot of your patterns, a lot of your ways, maybe how you live the life, how you communicate with your partner, how you just overall do things in this life. And it's not so global, it's not so powerful, right? It's just a Mercury retrograde. However, you could be thinking a lot around this time about your future steps, about your past actions as well, about your relationship with someone. You could be reconsidering certain things. You could be reevaluating certain things. And this is possibly a new plan, or maybe a plan that you kind of abandoned in the past, and now you're coming back to this plan to possibly work on something, you know, again, and it requires some mental clarity, it requires a plan, it requires a strategy, and you are going to be working on that project. And I feel like also with all the 12th house stuff that's happening and Mercury being in the first, this is like you kind of figuring out what is it that you need to perfect something, that it hasn't been born yet, or maybe is about to be born, but what is that final touch that you need to add to this project, to this I don't know, document, to whatever this is that you might be working on. But Mercury, retrograde or not, in the first house usually makes you very communicative, and a lot of people come back from the past, especially wanting to communicate with you. You know, your phone could be ringing constantly. And once Mercury goes retrograde, you can be like, you know, I'm tired. Like, you may kind of put on that do not disturb on your phone or something. You know, you may just want to isolate a little bit more and stay alone with your thoughts rather than interact with others a lot. But for everyone, this could be different. But I think it's an interesting month, very spiritual month for you. It's a start of a new spiritual journey for sure, for Taurus. But thank you guys so much for watching, and now we're moving on to Gemini. Hi Gemini, I hope that you're doing well. So I'm gonna talk about 4 events this month. The first one, April 5th, full moon in Libra. In your 5th house, that's a nice one for you. There could be a closure coming between you and a romantic interest. This could be that maybe a relationship will take the next step. This could be that you decide, you know what, I really don't want to involve myself in this relationship anymore. But it's, I believe, more of a peaceful energy here, kind of, rather than not, where it's okay, whatever happens is okay. There could be a new step happening in your child's life, or this could be quite literally you finding out, for example, that you are pregnant, or maybe giving birth around this time. When it comes to children generally, you know, children usually have some sort of big step coming to an end, you know, in their life, some kind of a milestone possibly, or something to be proud of, or something that they finally complete, they were working on for a while, and it affects you directly, of course, especially if it's the first child here. Now, another thing that this can be is, for example, you have worked on your website for a while, you have worked on your business for a while, and now it's time to show it to the world. And this is an exciting time. This is the time when maybe you are going to receive some feedback, okay, from partners, from clients, possibly from just people that you deal with all the time, from people that are close to you and people that you are professionally involved with. This could be the time where maybe you are going to win a competition, where you're going to have to showcase your talent somehow, be on stage or maybe at a job interview, and you can really connect with the party that is on the opposite side, like a judge, for example, or the judge, or the, oh my gosh, like a employer, right? You could really impress them with this full moon and receive some kind of a result. April 11th, Sun will conjunct Jupiter in Aries in your 11th house. This is a nice one for social media, guys, for like, you know, for example, dating websites, or for launching your own website, or, you know, starting to work on social media, creating a channel. This particular aspect can bring you fame, can bring you some sort of recognition, and this can also, you know, in like traditional astrology, 11th house is like the possession of the job or the government. You know, you could receive a document, for example, a visa to travel abroad. You could receive a job offer, okay? You could receive just overall some sort of important document that opens doors for you. But of course, it can also be fruits of your labor when it comes to your career, a promotion, a job offer, a raise. You are recognized for something here. This is a positive aspect for you. And this can suggest that the acquaintances maybe that you can have, that you might meet someone, first of all, you might meet someone masculine around this time, and very important somehow, with lots of ideas, with lots of connections maybe, that could be really helpful to you. But you could also find yourself interacting with a lot more people, networking with a lot more people, and you're going to like that energy. It's going to feel great. Now on April 20th, there is a solar eclipse in Aries in your 11th house as well. So this is a new era. This is a new stage in your goals and your dreams. What you want to, what do you expect from your career path? What kind of results are you expecting? What kind of salary are you expecting? What kind of commission are you expecting, right? What kind of maybe clients / customers are you expecting to have? The next year and a half will be the time where you are going to build a certain platform. And this could be, again, you, for example, switching to work online. This could be you starting your own thing and, you know, being very involved and being very brave and very motivated, very almost courageous, you know, to work on this. Maybe you've never done this before and now you're getting out of your comfort zone and you're doing it. And this could be the time where your life is going to get very, very social and very busy when it comes to any kind of networking or social connections. You could find yourself connecting with a lot of different people, you know, until May. This could be even foreign people. You could possibly find yourself starting a project that is helpful to the society somehow, to your community. You can be a really big part of a certain community in the next year and a half. So that is really awesome, and that's a really good solar eclipse for you. So if you want to initiate something, if you want to be the one, like the face of your business, you know, if you want to be the one that leads a group, this is a good time. This is a good time to do so. The only thing is, you know, right after the eclipse, Mercury is going to go retrograde in Taurus in your 12th house. And I would say that this isn't too harmful to any kind of ideas or plans that you may have going on. Unless maybe you've got, for example, Gemini ascendant, but Sun in Leo. Okay, or Sun in Aquarius, for example, or vice versa, right? But what I think this can do is give you a very restless mind. You're already a Gemini. You've already got that going for you. But with Mercury in the 12th, Mercury retrograde in the 12th, you know, you could feel like maybe you are getting a lot of different insights, a lot of information. That information kind of keeps you up at night. You know, that information is constantly in your mind. Like, for example, I'll give you my example. I have a stellium in Gemini in the 3rd house, so I'm very like Gemini-like, okay? And I'm a mutable sign anyway. So I'm currently learning Java programming language, and you know, I knew the basics before, but now I'm like going really deep into it. And I've had, for the last couple of nights, I've had dreams about Java. So it's just so silly when I think about it, but literally, like, I close my eyes and I see coding. You know, I see all the different code. So guys, this is similar, you know, with Mercury retrograde in your 12th house. This can be similar, where you dream about something that you're actively learning, or dream about some kind of communication, or just simply restless mind where you have a hard time sleeping. Okay, this could be it. But also, this could be a person that may come back from the past, or a few people that may come back from the past. These are your past connections. Some of them could have a hidden agenda though, okay, because they are in the 12th house. So I would be careful with the connections that are coming back from the past around this time. But thank you guys so much for watching, and now we're moving on to Cancer. Hi Cancer, I hope that you are doing well. So this horoscope, we're gonna talk about 4 events in April, and guys, for you this is a busy month. First of all the Aries energy, you know, this is significant for you specifically and for your Cancer placements. So the first event we're going to talk about is the full moon in Libra in your 4th house on April 5th. So full moons in the 4th house can suggest some sort of an addition to your family or an addition to your home in the most mundane, kind of like simple, you know, simple way. So for example, you get a new piece of furniture, you finish your garden finally, you finally, I don't know, negotiate with a neighbor about something, you know, and I don't know, like a fence, for example. You finally come to some kind of agreement between you and a family member. But there could also be just something happening in your home country, for example, or something happening in your family that is coming to an end, you know, and it could be different kinds of endings, right? I think that this is going to be something connected to your home routine, because you are going to have the North Node in your 10th house, right? In a very public part of your chart where you're going to be seen, you're going to be noticed, and you're going to be pretty driven in terms of your role in the society, larger role, right? Whether you are retired or actively employed, you know, there is some kind of a bigger meaning to this. You don't want to stay private. So I think that this full moon in the 4th house suggests that you are kind of leaving certain responsibilities at home behind, because now you're going to be focused on your either career growth or maybe some kind of an image, public image, your own business, or maybe you want to become an authority somehow. Maybe you're going to be the one who supports the family now, or maybe you're going to be the one that possibly takes charge in the local community or something like that. So that is like your calling, you feel it, you know it, and you may have to make some rearrangements in your private life, in your home life, so that you can take on this new role, okay? So April 11th, Sun will conjunct Jupiter in Aries in your 10th house. Wonderful event, beautiful event. 10th house, recognition. I don't even know. Cancers are going to get recognized for something in the month of April. I think that it's going to be very exciting, especially Cancer rising, guys. Cancer rising, okay? This is like you are illuminate. I always, you know, can say illuminate. It's like the path is illuminated. You know, you're on stage, there's like a spotlight on you. That's what I meant. And this is exciting with Sun, with Jupiter. You know, there could be maybe some masculine energy that is a very resourceful, you know, that is very helpful, that almost like makes your dreams come true. They could notice you. You know, they could notice you in the month of April, and they could, for example, offer you a job. This could be a very huge impression that you could give to authorities. And this could also be the time to shine on stage, the time to showcase your talents, you know, the time to talk to somebody, the time to kind of go live with something, you know. This is a, yeah, a very nice day, and I want to say 10th, 11th, 12th, you know, these are the days where you could shine really bright and receive some recognition. April 20th, there is a solar eclipse in your 10th house. So again, you know, this is the start of this journey of becoming your own personal authority, becoming an authority to others, receiving the recognition needed in your career. Definitely lots of personal growth, but also lots of professional growth here for Cancer, especially Cancer rising. And I feel like you may change your mind more than once possibly about what you really want to do. Well, the North Node is in your 10th house for the next year and a half, but what you are going to end up with is going to be stable, secure, long-term, and fated. Okay, every change that is happening in your career right now is fated. This is what's meant to be happening, even if it's challenging. You're supposed to get somewhere through these challenges, through these, you know, lots of effort, lots of perseverance. So don't worry if with this first eclipse, for example, not much happens in your career. For example, you're actively applying for jobs and nothing, right? No calls. And no calls in April either. Don't worry, because this is just the beginning, and it's gonna lead you, it's gonna take you where you are supposed to be. April 21st, Mercury is gonna go retrograde in Taurus, basically right after the eclipse in your 11th house. And I believe that you could receive some offers here that may be coming from the past. For example, you know, you were networking with someone and then they just kind of, you know, disappeared. They may come back. They may come back with offers. They may come back with opportunities to kind of reconcile and to work on something together. An old friend then can come around. You know, I've had that happen with Mercury retrograde in the 11th house. You may also be reconsidering your friend's circle. You know, you may be kind of going through your Instagram and removing people that you used to follow. As simple as that, I know, as mundane as that. But there isn't really anything tough about these energies. You know, you're just kind of reevaluating your goals, your plans, your social circles. Some connections are coming back to interact with you, you know, but I would really make the best decisions mid-May and onward rather than in the end of April, because Mercury still is retrograde, so you have to double check everything. You have to make sure that the connections that are coming back have your best interest, and that the documents that you maybe have to sign don't have any mistakes, right? So just be mindful about that, but it's a big month, a big start of a new journey for you. It'll be exciting. Thank you guys so much for watching, and now I'm moving on to Leo. Hi Leo, I hope that you are doing well. So, 4 events I would like to discuss in this reading. And the first one on April 5th is the full moon in Libra in your 3rd house. Not a bad one, not a bad one. Some education could come to an end. For example, you finish a course, you receive a diploma, you receive a certificate. And now it's like, okay, so what do I do with this certificate now? What do I do with this diploma, right? You could receive your driver's license, or maybe you could finish a certain trip. For example, you have finally aligned your schedule and all the resources to make that trip, to have it happen. And now it finally happens. Or maybe, like I said earlier, this trip can conclude around this time, so you're coming back. There could be just a very important short-term trip. Like, for example, you don't have to fly, I don't know, from New York to Florida around this time, but you may be taking a trip to, I don't know, a local courthouse, for example, for something, and you finally come out with a special important document, with the diploma, with some kind of closure, okay? So that is really good. That is good for those that have been working on certain paperwork, for example. This is the time to receive it, or this is the time to receive some kind of update about a certain case of yours, about something, some kind of venture that you might be working on. April 11th. You know, just overall, like, the month of April is really good for you because Aries placements make a trine to your sun or your rising or your moon, if you are a Leo moon like me. But, you know, it's a very positive month for Leos overall. And on April 11th, Sun will conjunct Jupiter in your 9th house. And that is beautiful. You know, some kind of a legal case maybe coming to an end finally, with some sort of a positive message. Okay, Sun, Jupiter, it's like a good lawyer, you know, a good judge, like something is working out in your favor, right? The authorities, the judges, everybody's like on your side here. This could be a very powerful masculine figure that may appear in your life that can help you somehow. It's a helper, it's a mentor, someone that can teach you something, right? This could be an opportunity to learn something new, an opportunity to maybe engage in some kind of a new study, or maybe take a trip abroad. For example, with full moon in Libra, you receive your document, like your visa, for example, and then, you know, closer to middle of April, you travel out of the country with that document. Or again, you finish one source of education and you're kind of moving on to the next, or maybe you're receiving the results, you know, from the schooling that you've done, the skill that you have obtained. Now you receive some sort of a result and recognition, what's most important, to shine, to showcase your skills, you know, to be noticed by authorities, by employers, by teachers, whoever this may be. And of course, you know, ninth house, how being a house of mentors, there can be an important person that comes around here that helps you somehow. So watch out also for those people. April 20th, there will be a solar eclipse also in your ninth house, and that's a new journey for the next year and a half where you are going to be very confident and very motivated and determined to change your future somehow, to create a path for yourself that makes a lot of sense, that makes you feel optimistic and happy about your life. And it could be, for example, a move to a foreign place in the next year and a half. It could be, again, completing some kind of a legality that maybe has been burdening, and finally now you receive that green light to be able to complete it. This could also be, for example, a new venture, again, a new educational venture. Yes, it could be that you may decide that you want to explore more. And it doesn't have to be college necessarily, like university, you know, going back to that, or just joining one. It can be a certain practice that you might start learning. It can be, you know, you may get into politics, you may get into philosophies, you may get into religion. You know, there can be many different things that happen here. And also, like, there will be, whether you like it or not, or whether you expect it or not, there will be some kind of a connection to foreigners in the next year and a half, you know? And it can be maybe, I don't know, a foreign romantic partner, or this can be a foreign company that you may end up working for, or maybe this can be lots of trips abroad. Something like that, kind of exciting. And now the last event that I'd like to mention, and it happens pretty much as soon as the solar eclipse happens, April 21st, Mercury goes retrograde in Taurus in your 10th house. That's the bigger deal than usual, Mercury retrograde, because it does make a square to your sun, okay, or it sits in your 10th house, making a natural square to your rising sign. And this is about reevaluating your duties at work. It's like, I don't want to work in the office anymore, I want to work remote. I want to work from this country now, for the same company. Or I want to talk to my boss, or I want to talk to the manager, I want to talk to the team, and I want to figure something out here. There's something here that you want to go back to, reevaluate, and start fresh. It needs to align somehow with this ninth house adventure. You know, it's like it needs to make it easier for yourself. And even though it's just Mercury retrograde, it's not necessarily the biggest deal, but because it's in your 10th house, you know, there may be communications that go way to the past. You know, like communication with the employer, for example. It's like, I have, you know, I have asked for a raise last year and you told me it would happen, but nothing ever happened. Can we talk about it again? You know, it could be something like that. There could be a project that comes up at work, whether you're self-employed or work for someone else, a project that may come back around that you will be focused on as well. And overall, I think maybe there will be communication regarding resources, how much you get paid, commission, how much your salary is, and so on, because it is in Taurus, right? A very resourceful sign. And I think that you will be able to reach a certain agreement in the middle of May, where a strategy is going to possibly change how you make money. Maybe duties are going to change, or maybe your title is going to change at the job as well. But thank you guys so much for watching, and now we're moving on to Virgo. Hi Virgo, I hope that you are doing well. So I would like to discuss 4 events this April. The first one is a full moon in Libra in your 2nd house on April 5th. So this is when it's like you see the results. You see the results of the seeds you have planted. For example, you recently started working at a new company, and this is your first paycheck, and you're like, okay, this is how it's gonna be now. You know, it's good. It could also be that you decide that you no longer want to make money a certain way, and usually by the time of the full moon, it's like you are ready. You know, you're ready with a new plan. This is something coming to completion, but you already have a plan aligned. This can also be, even though this is a full moon in your second house, in your house of resources, but it's in Libra, right? And Libra, Libra is a partnership. So it could be that maybe there is a gift that your partner may give you, or there is a financial shift happening in your partner's life somehow that directly affects your life. There could also be maybe a purchase that you may finally make around this time. For example, you purchase a home, you purchase a car, and you may purchase a piece of furniture, for example. You may finally receive some kind of a financial document around this time. I would say that overall this is a good full moon to look back and be like, wow, I did great. I did great. I planted lots of great seeds and now they're growing and they're showing me the results of my efforts. This is like a time to be proud of yourself. To be proud of yourself and to maybe appreciate those that were with you throughout your journey. And it doesn't have to be financial, right? It can also just be self-worth. For example, you are leaving a toxic relationship finally, and you're proud of yourself that you overcame that toxic energy and that you were able to make the right decision. That could also be the case. April 11th, the Sun will conjunct Jupiter in Aries in your 8th house. This is again a good one for finances. Overall, this is a pretty financial month. New financial beginnings, very exciting ones, very bright, very like, oh my gosh, where do I want to invest? What do I want to do? Do I need to open up another bank account? I finally received this loan. There could be news from the bank around April 11th, 10th, maybe the 12th, that they have approved your loan, for example. This could be the news of your partner that, they have been recognized for something here, for some kind of, project, right? This could be the time when maybe you are going to come up possibly, well, I don't know, for maybe some people they may come up with a source of income, but for others this is when they're going to receive kind of like a result, that first result. And Jupiter and Sun, they make up a very optimistic combo, and they make up almost like a combo of fame, popularity, and recognition. So for example, if you are working online, right, if you are working on the internet somehow, or if you are working in the company where you've been wanting to get recognized, this could be the time that you will possibly get recognized. That is really nice. Now, the secret can come to light. I know this is random, right? But it's still the 8th house, and it's also resourceful, financial, but it's also spiritual and deep and psychological. And yes, there could be possibly some news coming up, some kind of hidden information that will finally come to light, and you see it and you know about it, and it's like, well, what do I do now? And you will know what to do around April 20th, because solar eclipse happens in the 8th house as well, and that's going to be a theme for the next year and a half. For some people, for example, if they no longer want to be attached to a codependent partnership, this could be the time in the next year and a half that they may leave that codependent partnership, some kind of toxic environment. They could really also start either connected to partnerships or without them, but a lot of people could finally start working on their mental health in the next year and a half. They will be doing well financially, and because of that, they will be able to kind of invest more resources into their mental state, into their emotional state, their hobbies, what makes them happy, what makes them feel secure, what makes them feel, more trusting towards partnerships. There is some sort of a major healing process happening here. But the energies are in Aries, right? So as a Aries archetype, we are supposed to take that action ourselves. Nobody is going to do it for us. We have to do it for ourselves. So as long as you know that, and as long as you're willing to work on your mental health, spiritual health, emotional. As long as you're willing to overcome certain crises, this will be the time to do so. It's not all going to happen overnight. You're not going to be able to fix all of your issues overnight. But whatever you do end up doing here is going to be very fruitful, and it's going to get you out of a long-term crisis, okay? But your initiative for sure is required. But it's beautiful, you know. And also, again, if you have a partner that is going through any kind of financial changes, they will receive some news there. There will be like a start of their financial journey with this first eclipse in Aries, and you're going to be the direct witness of that, and you're going to most likely benefit from those financial changes as well. And right after the eclipse on April 21st, we have Mercury going retrograde in the sign of Taurus in your 9th house. That's a nice retrograde for you. This could be someone from a foreign land kind of wanting to reconnect with you and maybe give you an offer, give you some kind of an opportunity. And, you know, you could be like, all right, well, I'm gonna go visit this person. And you will start collecting, you know, finances and the documents, visas and things like that to go visit that person. It could also be, for example, that you may go back to a connection that is from a foreign land and just reconcile somehow, you know, and talk to them after a while of maybe not being in contact, maybe because of the distance. This could also be the time when you, this could be the time. Oh my gosh, sorry. So I usually use a notebook for this, but I decided to save time and do the notes on my computer, and I almost started talking to you like you are a Libra rising. Here you are. So this could be the time when, for example, if you are going through an immigration process, they may ask you for an additional paper. You know, they may ask you for some kind of evidence, for example, you know, or they may send you a paper back and tell you that maybe you've made a mistake and to redo it. You know, there could be things like that coming up, but it shouldn't really be anything too tense, anything too serious, okay? It's a pretty easy fix. And also, international companies, for example, if you maybe are working for an international company or are considering working for an international company, there will be lots of dealings there, you know, between you and them, some documents involved, lots of communication and so on, and you will come to some kind of middle ground, you will come to some kind of a new beginning closer to mid-May, okay, with this company, with this foreign person possibly, or with this paperwork that you're working on. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and now we're moving on to Libra. Hi Libra, hope that you are doing well. So this is a pretty important month for you. You are one of the cardinal signs. Big things are going to be happening in your relationships, personal and professional. But let's start with the full moon in your sign on April 5th. So lunations that occur on the 1st and 7th house axis, they're a big deal. You know, they're a big deal because anything can happen during those events. People get pregnant, people give birth, people separate, people get married, people meet the one, people don't meet the one. You know, people just reconcile, for example, with someone. People buy property, you know, sell property, people finish their legalities and things like that. So a full moon here, there is some kind of a chapter. Let's just say that, let's not specify what exactly it is, but there is some kind of chapter that is coming to an end in your life. And it's the time to gather the fruit, you know, the fruit of your labor. It's the time to look back and to see how much you've achieved, how much you've done. And, you know, for some people, this could be the time when they are finally finishing something with the help of another person, whether it's a partner, you know, a business partner. There is something coming to fruition here between you and someone else. And maybe closure, you know, if there was a relationship in your life that you needed to kind of work through, that you needed to receive closure from, this could be the time to do so, right in the beginning of April. Now, the second event I would like to mention is the Sun conjuncting Jupiter in Aries in your 7th house on April 11th. Now, that is a much bigger deal. I mean, your full moon in the 1st house is a very big deal as well. There's a huge chapter, you know, a chapter of maybe the last 6 months is coming to completion. So now you can move forward. Now you can move on to the next step. But the next step here is in the partnership. It's like connected to a certain partnership in your life. This partnership can be connected to someone that is very masculine and very, you know, in a way resourceful and interesting and kind of expansive somehow in your life. And this person can really show you the light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to your relationships. Maybe you're going to meet a very charismatic, very masculine, very like fiery person around April 11th that is going to recognize you, that is going to maybe want to work with you, want to make a deal with you, or maybe even give you a love offer, okay? There could be many different offers that could be coming up around this time, or maybe it's just an acquaintance, but it's a very strong acquaintance because, you know, they're in your spotlight. They are not like anybody else. They're very different from anybody else. And this could be just overall a very beneficial time for your partnerships. You know, maybe it's not, if it's not an individual that you might meet around this time, this is something good happening between you and someone else, or maybe something good happening in your legal case, something good happening with your negotiation, with a sale of a home, for example. You know, it's like the time to receive the news. And I think that it could be positive news. The next event is solar eclipse in the same house. Solar eclipse happening in Aries in the 7th house on April 20th. And this is the start of this new journey for a year and a half where your relationships are going to come to the forefront, where a lot is going to change in your relationships. And, you know, 7th, 1st houses, they do suggest that you may possibly have to change your patterns. You may have to detach from a certain behavior, a certain pattern that you used to have for a while, that you can now allow new relationships in, or allow the type of relationships into your life that you deserve, right? So, but it's a lot of work on yourself too, since the South Node is going to be in the 1st house. A lot of work on yourself, a lot of possibly not sacrificing, but just letting go, you know, letting go of the most stubborn habits, of the most stubborn patterns in your life, so that you can benefit somehow your connections with other people, because through those connections you're going to experience something strong, something amazing, something new and faded in this life. Any kind of connections that are going to be coming into your life starting April are going to be karmic, are going to be faded. I'm afraid of the word karmic because, you know, karmic has kind of a bad rep, but faded, predestined, very important connections that will last and that will give you different lessons. I'm not saying that just because the eclipses, you know, are happening in your 7th house now, you know, like on 7th and 1st, that you're gonna be in this new relationship, everything is gonna be perfect and easy. No, there could be different scenarios happening between you and other people, professionally as well, right? And a lot of situations that bring lessons. But I think by the end of it, you are going to either end up in a partnership that's truly fated, truly predestined, something that is meant to be in your life, or maybe you're going to end up working in a team of people that just aligns with you spiritually, aligns with you professionally and personally. You know, this is definitely about going through your people list, friends list, you know, and changing it up somehow, allowing new foundation for new, strong, powerful partnerships. So there is some kind of a partnership that may come around here, an offer that may come around, a start of a deal that may come around that you're going to be working on that will bring you lots of different experiences. But right after the solar eclipse, we have Mercury going retrograde in Taurus in your 8th house and on April 21st. And this one, Mercury in the 8th house, it could be that maybe you're going to pick pick up on a spiritual practice that you have abandoned before. Not necessarily spiritual always. This could be like a psychological practice. There could also be misunderstandings between you and someone that you're trying to split something, like separate something with, or maybe even combining resources. You know, it all depends on kind of what stage in life you're in right now, because for people that are maybe separating from a partnership, you know, that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to be trying and splitting assets. Maybe they're going to be dealing with legal things here, right? Custody and things like that. For others, maybe, you know, you are moving in with a partner, getting married, for example, and you are trying to connect the resources, you know, trying to create mutual bank accounts and so on and so forth. So it's going to be a different vibe for everyone. But yes, I do believe that either way, it's going to be connected to someone else in your life. This could also be, for example, if everything is smooth and you're just living in a partnership, you know, you are in a partnership currently, and if your partner is actively looking to change their sources of income, that's when things could get interesting there. You know, for example, they could receive a call from a previous company and they will decide to work there again, and they're going to be going through the process of kind of going back. Or maybe you're just going to be reevaluating how much exactly you need to pay off this loan, right? And so on and so forth. But it's a big month and it's a big year for you, dear Libra. Thank you guys so much for watching. And now moving on to Scorpio. Hi Scorpio, I hope that you're doing well. So I'm going to talk about 4 events this month. And the first one is the full moon in Libra in your 12th house on April 5th. Spiritual full moon. For those of you that have a secret interest, a secret romantic interest hidden in the 12th house, well, it might be the time where this relationship may no longer be such a secret anymore, you know. But this could also be, however, an end to something that was going on behind the scenes. This could just be, you know, Libra rules partnerships and 12th house hidden. Yes, you could receive closure, maybe through a message, through an insight, like through an actual message, you know, with someone maybe either from far away or someone kind of hidden in your life, someone that you maybe are even hiding your feelings from. You could receive clarity, or you could receive closure, or you may decide that this relationship deserves to be kind of on the surface now, not so much behind the scenes. This could also be the time when maybe there is an immigration project is going to come to an end, and you receive the you know, invitation to an interview. You may receive a document. You may receive some kind of answer, update, and so on. So that could also be a thing. But also, you know, full moon in the 12th house can suggest that you are getting rid of a bad habit, or that you are doing something with your health, with your routine that is healthier for you, you know, something now that will make more sense, give you more sleep or give you more rest. That's what you could be focused on around this time. But on April 11th, we've got a big event, one of the bigger events this month, and this is Sun conjunct Jupiter in Aries in your 6th house. And talking about routines, right? Talking about your health. There is some kind of project maybe that is coming up in the middle of April, and it's an exciting project. It's something that maybe you wanted to work on, and it kind of takes all of your time. It takes all of your attention. It could be the kind of project, and I call it a project, but it could be so many things, to be honest with you. But this project maybe is something that's going to allow you to get recognized. That is going to allow you to kind of showcase your talents, showcase your skills. And it could be the time between maybe 10th and 12th of April when you actually do get recognized, okay? Because Sun and Jupiter, to me, the conjunction in Aries, this is recognition to me. So fiery, so like strong and, you know, exciting. And this is something that you worked hard for. This isn't just sudden fame for no reason. You know, this is recognition because you worked hard. And yes, this could be at your, you know, place of employment. This could be where you get recognized. This could also be some sort of a new practice, health routine, something here that may open your eyes. You may meet a person that is masculine, motivated, fiery, kind of like ambitious and active, and they can really provide you with answers or maybe some advice here as well. But then on April 20th, you have a solar eclipse in Aries in the 6th house. And I believe that the next year and a half could suggest that you may change your job, may change the job environment. You may, for example, work from home now and have that different routine versus going to the office and working from the office, okay? Maybe it could be that you might start on certain project, again, that is going to lead you. It's like an individual project too. It's just you working hard on it. It's not you know, anybody else kind of involved. It's you, it's like your baby, you know, and you are working on this project and you are responsible for this project, and there is lots of time, lots of effort that goes into this project, but it will give you results that are faded almost. It will give you the results that maybe you need to receive and the recognition that you need to receive. And it could be that maybe it might end up in the self-employment altogether. Or maybe working for another company, or maybe it could be that you're going to go through certain procedures, health procedures, right, in the next couple years, less than 2 years, but still, that are going to impact you in a major way, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically as well. So this one here in the, you know, there is some kind of news coming. There is news coming either from a job, news coming about the job, news coming about the projects or your health, okay? But I feel like it's optimistic. I think it's optimistic. I think it's going to allow you to expand your circle, your networking circle. You're going to be able to maybe work with more interesting people down the line. You're going to be able to expand your connections, your clients, your customers, whatever the base is, right? And yeah, I think overall it's an exciting time. However, right after the solar eclipse, on April 21st, we have Mercury going retrograde in Taurus in your 7th house. And that is a bigger deal for you specifically as a Scorpio because, you know, it's going to be opposing your sun or your rising sign. So Mercury retrograde in the 7th house can bring up past connections, right? Acquaintances, exes and things like that, you know, people that really want to reconnect somehow. And it's okay, you know, it's not that big of a deal. You know, there could be some negotiations, for example, that you're going through in business partnership where it's like, hey, you did not sign this, you need to sign this again, or there is a mistake in the paperwork, can you fix it? You know, these could be the things that you might be dealing with. Lots of calls, lots of communications, you know, with people from the past, with, I don't know, people that want to somehow collaborate with you, ex-partners as well could be coming around. And can I say that you are kind of disinterested here? You may be disinterested because you seem to focus on your life right now, like on the routine, on what matters, especially if you are Scorpio rising. You know, you want to focus on what can you accomplish every day, how can you make every day productive. And those connections, you know, the past connections that don't really matter anymore because if they did, they wouldn't be the past connections, right? You're really not going to care about them much. But who knows, maybe you could, but you know, I don't think that's where your focus is. But overall, there could be maybe a time where you have to reevaluate a certain document, where you have to re-sign something, fill it out all over again, send something all over again, and so on. But thank you guys so much for watching, and now we're moving on to Sagittarius. Hi Sagittarius, I hope that you're doing well. So I would like to discuss 4 events in April. For you, as a fellow fire sign, this is a good month, great month, because Aries placements are going to be trining your sun in Sagittarius or your rising in Sagittarius, or maybe moon in Sagittarius, but moon and it's not going to be as strong. So April 5th, there is a full moon in Libra in your 11th house. The simplest way how this can play out is a friend moves away. You know, still lots of interactions and strong connection, but the person simply will not be in the same place anymore, right? They're moving. But this could also just be a project, like a goal of yours that is finally achieved, and a wish comes true. It could be that this is a goal that you were working on for the last 6 months, or this is the goal that you were working on for a very long time. You know, it doesn't have to be specifically 6 months, but it's like it's coming to fruition now and you are excited. You know, it could be connected to someone else. It could be like a goal, a mutual goal with a professional, like a partner, you know, with a business partner, a romantic partner. But this could also be a document that you may receive from the government, from the job, for example, like a job offer, a raise. You know, this could also be the case. And overall, this is a nice event. You're starting out the month with already a pretty nice event. It's like a goal is achieved. Whether it's a short-term goal, a long-term goal, it's achieved. It's good. Now, April 11th, another interesting event. Sun will conjunct Jupiter in Aries in your 5th house. If you're single, if you are single, this is the time that you meet someone kind of, you know, masculine, very ambitious, very fiery, very like goal-oriented, and this could be the time when the spark is gonna be very real. Because, you know, this aspect happens once a year. So it's like, it's going to be maybe an acquaintance that you meet that you may kind of will remember for a while, you know, or maybe this connection can stick around for a while. You know, this could develop further into something stronger, into something more exciting, and, you know, and maybe even faded in some way. And I feel like with the Sun conjuncting Jupiter in the 5th house, for those that maybe want to conceive, or, you know, their time is coming up to give birth, this is obviously the time that this could also happen, you know, a conception, or maybe you may decide now to have a child with your partner, or maybe this is going to be simply a time to give birth already. This could also be the time when your child, if you already have children, your child may reach a milestone that you are proud of, they're proud of, and it's just like good energy, and it just shows the motivation of an individual, you know, how hard they worked to achieve this. But this also could be you. For example, if you have a website, if you have a blog, if you have like a channel or something, if you have a Etsy store, if you have an online business overall, especially if it's creative, or you are the only person, like your own boss, this could be the time where you receive recognition. Very exciting, very fun, you know, very like popular, you know, it's a popular aspect. And I believe that this could be the time where maybe you get more clients, where you get more customers, where your blog is going to be viewed a lot more times than usual, for example. And there's some kind of boost here that is happening in your romantic life, in your creativity, in your own business, right, endeavors, and so on. And the next event on April 20th, that's the solar eclipse in Aries in the 5th house. So guys, that's also a very big deal, because there is something here happening regarding your partnerships, you know, regarding the people that you meet, especially if you are kind of on the market, you know, single. Faded connections will be coming into your life. Faded does not mean great, right? But it also does not mean bad, because they're coming to you with certain lessons. And it could be that, you know, the romance that you engage in for the next year and a half, and right now it's just the beginning, you know, it's going to hold a lot of importance, a lot of significance in your life. And yes, it could be something that may turn into a, you know, marriage later on, and, you know, become a very, very important you know, venture in your life. I met my husband during the eclipses in the 5th house. So, and you know, we have a family now. So that is very, I would say it's a destined time. It's not just you know, being on online dating websites and kind of scrolling through. No, this is meeting the soulmate. You know, that could play out that way, but not without challenges. There could be challenges here as well, of course, but the strongest will withstand, you know, those challenges. This could also be the time where you may become a parent. You may become a parent in the next year and a half, and also there may be a major boost to your personal business, or maybe you will become a business owner in the next year and a half. Right after the eclipse, though, we are having an event. Mercury going retrograde in the 6th house in Taurus, and that is on April 21st. And I believe that this could be gathering the last resources to invest maybe into your business. So, for example, let's say 5th house is a business and 6th house is working for a company and a team, for example. So you are there, for example, giving your 2 weeks. You are there maybe saving up, gathering resources enough. Maybe you're not leaving anywhere yet, right? But you might be gathering resources from a regular job to invest into your business, for example. It could also be that if you're not involved in any businesses, companies, nothing like that, it could just be that maybe you might be a little bit tired mentally. So I just want to let you know, tired mentally, overworked mentally around this time. So please take care of yourself. Some natural remedies, you know, with Taurus being in the 6th house. Just try to rest more, try to sleep a little bit more, try to relax in the evenings. The mind will be very active, and it will be kind of affecting your physical body. Okay, so that's just something that I want to mention. But other than that, you know, really bright, fiery, exciting month, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But thank you guys so much for watching, and now we're moving on to Capricorn. Hi Capricorn, I hope that you are doing well. So let's talk about April. I've got 4 events that I would like to discuss, and the first one is full moon in Libra in your 10th house. So I would say that this is a big month for you generally because you are a cardinal sign, and full moon happening in the 10th house a lot of times suggests getting recognized for something that you may have been working on for a while. For example, this is your last 2 weeks at a job before you switch jobs. This is the job offer that you finally get. This is the interview that's going to go well, hopefully, right? Especially if you're Capricorn rising. Capricorn sun, if you have interviews lined up, they may be so-and-so. So-and-so, yes, but for Capricorn rising, I believe this could be pretty successful. But still, you know, Capricorn sun, as long as they are determined, they could maybe have a couple tries. You know, a couple tries, maybe the first one not so great, but the second one great. Because there's a little bit of tension here. But at the same time, you know, with a full moon in the 10th house, this is also you changing roles. Maybe not in your career, but maybe in your community. Or maybe you are becoming a parent. Maybe you are becoming, I don't know, like the main provider for the family or something. You know, there is like a role shift and closure when it comes to something that's just no longer serving you. This could also be maybe communication with someone at work, with an authority at work, to be able to take on a new role, and that should go well. And overall, I think that there is some kind of a new chapter starting, an old one ending in regards to your responsibilities, in regards to your authority, in regards to your role, your public image, and a new one is beginning. Also, you know, it could be that, for example, if you're dealing with legalities, that could also be finally coming to completion. On April 11th, Sun will conjunct Jupiter in Aries in your 4th house. And overall, you know, the month of April is 4th house action. And here you could, for example, if you are trying to sell your home, you could find a buyer around this time, because Sun and Jupiter, it's like, you know, spotlight. And it could be something very optimistic, something that you are excited about. You know, you're like, oh my gosh, you know, this is finally happening. We're finally gonna move forward with this deal. This could also be, for example, that you might move around this time. You know, you might move to a foreign land around middle of April. You may travel to a foreign land. You may go back to the place where you were born as well in April. And this could also be the time where maybe you are going to receive some kind of good news, I believe good news, from a family member, you know, from a mother or a father, about some kind of new beginnings, maybe a new cycle in their life. And it's with Jupiter and Sun, it could be connected to maybe it could also be in addition to the family generally. You know, for example, I don't know, a sibling is going to give birth around this time, or you find out that they're pregnant. But when it comes to, for example, parents' lives or generally family dynamic, this is usually something that maybe is connected to paperwork, is connected to legalities, something that's coming to fruition when it comes to a specific legal case, or when it comes to like a proper inheritance, okay, something like that. But then on April 20th, we're going to have a solar eclipse in the same house, in the 4th house. So for the next year and a half, this is pretty interesting because, you know, you're having a full moon in the 10th house in the beginning of the month. It's like you're completing a chapter at work. And then you're going to have a series of eclipses happening in the 10th and 4th houses, with the focus on the 4th house, with the focus on the private life, where you may sacrifice your public image, you may sacrifice a specific role that you've obtained in the society, in the community, so that you can give more to your family, so you can give more to, you know, to your private circle. And when I had eclipses on the axis, when I had the solar eclipse, when I had the North Node in the 4th house, this is when I became a mom, and I wasn't really working. I was spending as much time as I could with my baby, and you know, it was mostly my husband working. So it could play out that way for some people, especially Capricorn rising people, okay? For Capricorn Sun people, you know, this is about a new identity, for sure. A new identity that they're gonna take on, and they are going to have to detach from something that used to serve them in the past, but no longer will serve them no matter how much they try, because they need to adjust to a new role. And it could be a very, very long-term, very faded kind of role, something that will not just benefit them, but also the people around them. You know, somehow this is their calling, to be with the loved ones, to spend more time with the loved ones, to maybe build a home, to purchase a home, to move as well. Maybe they're going to be happier somewhere else versus where they are now. There is a big deal here happening regarding your living conditions and moving, possibly property, right, and family dynamic. A lot of people are going to start their own families in the next year and a half, and even if it seems unreal right now, this can actually happen. Maybe not at this eclipse, right, not in April, but for the next year and a half, there is a high chance to either purchase your own home or start a family. All right, so my camera died and I was gonna talk about the last event, which is Mercury going retrograde in the sign of Taurus, but it's happening in your 5th house. And it's also happening the day after the solar eclipse on April 21st. So it's implying that maybe what we want to achieve in the 4th house, in your case, right, with family dynamic, with the property, for example, with your living situation, may not necessarily manifest so quickly, right? Because there is Mercury going retrograde. There is something that needs to be kind of reevaluated, something that needs to be maybe fixed. But it's in the 5th house here. I believe what it could be is that, for example, communication or possibly a little bit of misunderstanding with your romantic partner, you know, because there is a goal that you have regarding property, for example, regarding moving, and you have to somehow compromise, you know, compromise with a romantic partner. Is this something that we're doing right now, or is this something I'm doing on my own? Or, you know, are you with me? Are you not with me? And so on. However, Mercury retrograde in the 5th house does bring romantic partners that are, it's those connections that never really went anywhere. in the past, okay, they can come back. And for some people, maybe they can be very beneficial connections. Maybe you've been wanting, you know, for them to come back. But for others, it can be those annoying, frustrating connections that, you know, there's a reason why they didn't work out in the past, or the reason why they didn't go anywhere in the past. And now that they're coming back around, you know, I don't know what to do with them. So that could also be the case. A little bit of miscommunication maybe with your child. But it could also, by the way, be that, for example, if you are pregnant currently, you could be going around, you know, researching what you need for the baby, you know, and like getting the registry set up and things like that. That could also be the case. But I think that this is a start of a pretty big deal for you guys, for you, for Libra, for Aries, for Cancer, and I think that it's going to be a very fated, very important time in your life where, yes, you're gonna learn some lessons, but you're also gonna come out of the transit with big results. So thank you guys so much for watching, and now we're moving on to Aquarius. Hi Aquarius, I hope that you are doing well. So this is your month of April, and or I should say your horoscope for the month of April, and we're gonna talk about 4 events here. The first one, April 5th, there's a full moon in Libra in your 9th house. Very optimistic, very positive full moon for you specifically, because it is trining your placements in Aquarius, and the more Aquarius or air placements you have, the better this full moon is going to play out for you. It could be if you are preparing certain paperwork for a legal case, for an immigration case. It's finally going to be done. Around this time, you're going to receive an answer, you're going to receive an update, you're going to receive closure regarding a certain legal case. Possibly, maybe there's this last signature that needs to come through. It comes through, and finally you receive a great update, some kind of a green light to maybe be able to travel abroad. This could also be, for example, a relation. If you have a certain relationship with a person from afar, like a foreign person. Maybe you're involved with a foreign company. Maybe you are involved with a romantic partner from afar. This could also be closure, completion, and a new beginning, of course. You know, there is something here that is ending and something new beginning. It could be, for example, that the person, I don't know, someone from abroad could actually move now and live closer to you, or could visit you possibly. Education, also any kind of educational projects, you know, like maybe a long-term project that finally couldn't, like you needed to finish, now is finally finishing up, and you're excited because now you can actually apply it. And for applying it, we have a nice transit. We have a transit of Sun conjuncting Jupiter in Aries in your 3rd house on April 11th. That is, you know, something that happens once a year, and it could be a big boost to your connections, to meeting a very interesting acquaintance in your social circle. You could meet them locally, you could meet them online, and it is someone kind of masculine, fiery, motivated, ambitious. You know, it's someone that you're like, that's an interesting person to have around. You know, they could teach me something, or maybe this is possibly a romantic partner that you could be meeting. They could be foreign too, but you know, this person can be someone that either gives you a green light or maybe helps you somehow. But if it's not a person, there is some sort of recognition of your skill, recognition of your blog, recognition of your website, your article, your public speaking, something here that you may have to showcase a talent, showcase a skill. If you need to around this time, this can go very well for you. The placements are making a sextile to your sun, giving you more opportunity to be noticed, more opportunity to be recognized and rewarded in some way. So that is very exciting here. You know, you could be receiving like a diploma of some kind, you know, you could be receiving a document, and it's like, this is the day when you open your inbox and you're like, oh my God, I finally got that email. You know, this could be that time. Now, moving on to April 20th, there's a solar eclipse in your 3rd house as well. So something connected to education for the next year and a half is going to be very important to you guys. This is me. I'm coming out of the transit of North Node through my 3rd house. I've taken so many classes, so much school has never been so prevalent in my life that it was in the last year and a half. Skills and, you know, all of this stuff, like I'm constantly reading something, constantly learning something. It's difficult for those that, for example, don't have maybe any Gemini or mutable placements. You know, it may be hard to kind of gather all that information and hold on to it, but you are an Aquarius. You know, I think that you would do just fine. And considering how much information is going to be coming your way, how many contacts, how much communication is going to be coming your way, I think that you're going to be very eager to learn, very eager to socialize, to network, and overall it's going to be just a very busy time, busy mind too. And I haven't been sleeping well, and that could be a similar theme where maybe you're going to be so preoccupied with things that are happening, you know, so much to learn, so many people to talk to, so much mental stimulation that you may have a hard time sleeping sometimes. So this is just something that, you know, want to put out there, because this is my problem right now. You know, overall it's about perfecting a certain skill. And the solar eclipse in Aries may pinpoint which skill you need to be working towards. What exactly is it that you could make your job, for example, the dream job? What is it that could showcase your talents? What is it that you're so interested in and want to somehow apply it in your life later? This eclipse will show you. This eclipse will show you the way, and you will be able to move forward and make something come to fruition. However, right after the solar eclipse, there is Mercury going retrograde in Taurus in your 4th house on April 21st, and this is a slightly bigger deal, excuse me, for you than for other people, because it's going to be making a square to either your Aquarius sun or your Aquarius rising. And Mercury in the 4th house, this is the very traditional way, you know, it is maybe miscommunication with your family members, right? It's like something connected to money as well. It could be miscommunication regarding finances. This could also suggest that maybe there is something that needs to be invested into your home. Maybe you're trying to move and there is a deposit that is kind of, you know, you didn't expect this kind of deposit, and you now have to kind of figure out how you're gonna gather resources for this. Maybe there is some kind of a project that you will be busy doing at home, and it's nothing conflicting necessarily, it's just a project that has to be done at home. And you need to kind of reorganize your time, reorganize your routine, so you can complete this project at home, while you are at home, while you have that free time, right? This could also be the time where maybe if you are trying to purchase a home or sell a home, there may be some documents coming up that need to be reevaluated, where maybe you need to make sure that there are no mistakes, because there could sometimes be mistakes in the contract, and so on. On another note, I would say that with Mercury in the Mercury retrograde in the 4th house, there is a sense of, you know, like having poor communication or poor service when it comes to like your environment. For example, letters could be delayed. You know, letters to your home could be delayed. Some communication that maybe you are expecting within that time frame, like end of April, early May, you may not quite receive it. You know, there's some kind of news about property or moving that may be delayed. But overall, you know, shouldn't really be that big of a deal. And I think that April is the month that kind of encourages you to move forward, to gather as much knowledge as you would like or as you need, you know, learn a new skill, kind of try yourself in all these different roles, you know, try yourself in what do you like, you know, what would you think you could maybe do for a living one day, or what is it that maybe you like but you don't know enough about, you know, maybe it's time to explore this thing. So yeah, thank you guys. And of course, make new connections, network, you know, socialize, collaborate. It's gonna be a good time for that as well. But thank you guys so much for watching, and now I'm moving on to Pisces. Hi Pisces, I hope that you are doing well. Finally, we got to the last sign. So we've got 4 events to discuss in April, and the first one is the full moon in Libra in your 8th house, and that is happening on April 5th. So in this case, there is some kind of a financial journey that is coming to an end. And it could be a financial journey that is directly connected to your partner, for example. So they are changing jobs, and now you understand what's going to happen with your mutual bank account, for example. You know, you understand now that, you know, what payments you can make or what payments you may not be able to make, right? There is some kind of financial journey of another person that may be coming to an end here, to some kind of closure, and you are the direct witness of that. However, it's your finances too. There could be something happening here when in regards to your resources, in regards to your finances, that is, I would say, pretty beneficial, considering all the energies in Aries that are going to be happening throughout 2023. You know, there is a sense of needing to let go of something that is kind of codependent. You know, for example, instead of relying on a specific source or on credit cards or on, I don't know, somebody's support, Pisces is going to learn how to become self-reliant, become independent, right? And I'm not saying that they haven't yet. There's just some kind of a cord that they have, possibly. Maybe a financial cord, or maybe it's actually spiritual cord, right? In a way where there is some kind of resource that they have. It could be a person, it could be somebody's finances. That cord most likely is going to become thinner and thinner and thinner, or maybe it's going to be cut around this full moon in Libra, so that way Pisces can learn, you know, how to love themselves, how to kind of exercise their own self-worth, but also how to maybe make their own money that makes them feel good about themselves. And this could be the time, you know, April could be the time when that starts happening. Any kind of crisis that maybe Pisces is going through, that could also be coming to fruition around the beginning of April. But a very nice event is happening on April 11th, and I want to say maybe 10th, 11th, 12th could be the days. This is Sun conjuncting Jupiter in Aries in the second house. So in this case, guys, this could be some really good news connected to money that may come around. This could be a good news about source of income. You know, for example, you're looking for a job, you find some kind of a job, there is a job offer coming, there's some kind of a financial offer coming, you maybe start seeing results of a lot of work, a lot of effort that you put into a certain project. And now this is coming to fruition. To me, Jupiter Sun conjunction in Aries too, it could be that maybe you were saving up for something for a while. For example, to buy your own home, to become a homeowner. You know, your first property, your first serious major purchase. And now you do it. With Aries being there, you do it on your own without anybody's help. You purchase this property, you know, you get approved, you I don't know, build a home or something, you purchase a car, I don't know, but there is something here that you're able to do on your own, and you're proud of it, and you get recognized for it as well. So really good news about self-worth, you know, becoming more self-confident, you know, becoming more independent. All of those notes can be becoming stronger and stronger and stronger, more noticeable in the month of April. And then April 20th, there is a solar eclipse in the same house, guys. And this is a journey of the next year and a half that is very exciting, that is very independent, that is full of different, almost challenges in a way, you know, because Aries is a warrior, you know, they have to fight, and you will be fighting for your resources. You will be so determined to manifest something that makes you feel good about yourself, that makes you feel successful. And for, I believe, a lot of Pisces, this can be a new job, right? It can be a new source of income. It can be starting your own business and being, you know, your own boss, and being proud of yourself. And of course, not without challenges, right? Because any kind of venture, any kind of financial venture can be pretty challenging at first, you know, and maybe even down the line as well. But there is some sort of a start here, and a very independent start. You know, nobody's helping you but you. And that is a reason to celebrate. And I think it will be really nice to see in the next year and a half how Pisces is able to rely on themselves, whether it's emotional, right, or financial or spiritual. They are their own strong individual and they're able to rely on themselves. So amazing. But then on April 21st, Mercury goes retrograde in your 3rd house. And this is a very traditional Mercury retrograde. This is when emails don't, get received on time. Emails are delayed and letters are delayed, and there are miscommunications with people. I don't know, something's off with a calendar, you miss an appointment possibly. Or maybe, there may be some misunderstandings with like neighbors or siblings or, and things like that. But overall, it's just a time where you need to allow yourself a little bit more mental rest, because it's a very Geminian Mercury retrograde, because it's happening in your 3rd house, even though in Taurus, but I think that you may need to try and ground yourself somehow, try and sleep better, try and maybe relax your thoughts once in a while, because there will be a lot going on, lots of contacts, lots of communications, lots of people will be coming into your life and trying to socialize with you and trying to maybe make plans with you. People from the past, like old acquaintances, could be coming back. Old friends could be coming back. You may be taking lots of short trips, especially to the places that you've been to before. For example, certain, I don't know, like DMV or, other places you may have to kind of go to repeatedly. And that is the downside of this transit, but I also think that you will be preparing a lot. You will be preparing a lot mentally for a new beginning, and you will also be gathering documents for something very important in your life. But thank you guys so much for watching. Happy, first of all, happy spring equinox. Happy new astrological year. And I will see you guys in my next reading. Bye-bye.